It's women crushing it Wednesdays. OGs hooking up in the kitchen. Call it bling range. Nike's opinions leave you kids days. Me and Zo's an unforgettable fighter. With a fist raised, we talking offensive defense. Cause if you get knocked out, it's all in the pretense. We put lights out like D10s. Christine, so pristine, you gotta respect the Queen's gift. Just sit back and enjoy the views. Opinions are plentiful, but it's for y'all to choose. Women crushing it Wednesdays. Let's get into it. It hit different.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Women Crushing It Wednesdays. Yay, yay. How's everybody doing this evening?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. I got my girls. I got Nika and Crystal, and we have Base the Kid from across the pond joining us tonight.
So we have Sportsnista too, but I think she might have gotten a call because it says her device is not connected.
Okay, so we'll have Sportsnista on too, like as soon as she gets everything together. So before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Almighty Kane that did our intro. It's fabulous.
It's very vibe, like, you know.
Very,
I saw
like you just like chilling, you know, sitting on the couch, like, woo, this is great. And then of course, Arte de Tere that does all of our thumbnails and our videos. She's doing great things. So shout out to her as well. There she is, Sportsnista. Welcome. How are you?
Hello. Hey.
We've got a lot to dive into tonight. We have a guest that's going to be coming on soon, but before we get there, so Nika, you had said that you wanted to get into the press conference. Let's do that for those that have seen it.
Okay, so yes, the press conference. I was able to watch it on YouTube. And interesting enough, of course, there was a clown show there with Teofimo doing the most, slapping Barbosa, supposedly. I don't even know if these things are like skits and like, you know, already.
You begin to wonder.
Yeah, because you're not slapping me, and then we just like, you know, it's a lot of this going on at these press conferences. Before it was the egg being slapped in the face with the egg. Now, you know, this guy, Teofimo, thought he would one up him, I guess, but he just had a regular slap, you know. So then Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia were getting into it. You would think that this fight was the fight that they're like the rematch, because they were going at it back and forth like they were fighting right now, instead of Rolly and Ryan and Jose Ramirez and Devin Haney. So I don't know if anybody else saw the press conference, but you know, it maybe the press conference did its job. You know, I'm interested. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I saw bits and pieces. I don't know if anybody else did. Sportsnista, did you happen to catch that press conference?
I did. It's enough slappery going on right now. I put the gloves on or close the fist, like one or the other. It's just goofiness. But, you know, I do think that it's going to be a fun card. I just think that it's an overall good one. Hoping that it'll sustain some eyeballs past that weekend, though.
Yeah. Crystal, all the, I don't know, all the drama, all the everything that's been going on, is it selling the fight? Did we need all that to sell the fight?
I mean, that's what the goal is, right? But I see some people on the social media be like, this is a drug cheat card because there are so many cheaters on here or something. I don't know what they're trying to promote. Yeah, drug cheat.
Yeah, a drug cheat.
Yeah, that's what they are to promote or something. And I don't know whatever it is. I mean, I feel like, to me, the location of this is what is intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the Madison Square Garden, I think that would be rather incredible.
That's going to be kind of crazy.
I'm interested to see how that will be set up. I know that there's some speculation and some people put maps out already, but I
Yeah.
think it'll be rather intriguing to see how they pull that off.
Yeah, they are going to have fans in around that area too. So I mean, anybody spending any time in New York City, it's hard to block off any portion of New York City outside of New Year's Eve in Times Square. Like it's just difficult. So you need a lot of money and a lot of people who understand the infrastructure over there. But I, I think that the whole issue of drug testing, though, is being swept under the rug. Like, did Ryan undergo any kind of testing? Like, is he in any kind
Good
of
question.
protocol? They're like, hey, you lived out your suspension and now it's good. It's not good.
Yeah. Base. So Ryan has said, you know what? I came to Jesus. I'm turning my life around. I'm no longer
I
a
didn't mean to
cheat.
laugh. I did not mean to laugh. Sorry.
I'm no longer
It's the way you said
cheating.
that. I came to
I'm
Jesus.
no longer doing the things that I did before. I am serious. Like, what say you about this like born again attitude that he has?
I mean, look, if this is what he's saying, I guess we gotta wait and see if he follows through. I mean, he's had these episodes before where he's all about the Lord Jesus Christ, and then in the same hand he's there smoking weed and cussing people out using racial slurs that maybe he's not entitled to do. So this is Ryan. He's very up and down. I don't know how much of it is attributed to the MH or if it's just him being petulant and wanting attention. We'll find out. I mean, my biggest, not I won't say concern, but my biggest inquiry about that card is it's a free fight card, which is going to be on his own pay-per-view. The following day, Canelo's going to be on his own pay-per-view. The week before, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is going to be on his own pay-per-view. So, as much as they were saying pay-per-views dead, how are we getting free pay-per-views on one platform in 1 week? That's what I want to know.
I hadn't even
I didn't even
thought
think
about
about that. Yeah.
I like it. I like the
really thought
style.
that Ryan fight and stuff was because I just heard free, so I just assumed everything was free. But they meant free
That's
for
what I assumed.
They
for
said
the
it's
tickets.
his own pay-per-view worldwide. That's what they put out.
That's crazy.
It will be priced. So here's what I'm hearing is that there could two things happen. One is that it's going to be priced very economically because they are aware of that. There'll also be packages, so you can get kind of like 3 fights for the price of 2.5. So they're looking at doing things with the pricing, but Turkey has kind of like an 18-month commitment with outside of what he's doing with TKO. And so they got to get through it. So they're going to blow all this stuff out, but the price is going to become an issue in the United States. Because remember, we're the only ones really getting hosed by a pay-per-view price.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Go to Mexico. You don't pay for shit.
Yeah.
I want that pay-per-view.
So
Seriously.
Yeah. Thanks, D Style. I'm just gonna read his comments. It says boxing glove, pow.
Yeah, you could have made a comment. This was your only opportunity. No more. No. So I want to ask y'all. So, and I'll start with you, Base, and then we'll go around. So Ryan and Rolly, who is this fight safe for? Ryan or Rolly?
I mean, it's safest for Ryan, but if we're gonna be honest, like anything can happen. Roddy, again, not a very good boxer. Against technical people, he falls apart. But Ryan doesn't really use his technique these days, and he is very prone to having moments of ADHD in the ring, and he'll just do something random because he's bored. Roddy is very similar. I expect Ryan to win it within the first 3 to 4 rounds, but there is, he could switch off and get caught the same way he did against Luke Campbell. He could, just not turn up interested on the night. Anything can happen. It's one of those crazy fights. I mean, the whole card itself is crazy in that sense, but in terms of the two of them, I would say that should be the safest fight of all three on the card.
Okay. Crystal, what do you think? I mean, was this the fight that needed to happen for either one of these guys to like step up a little bit? Like, is it the safe fight for both of them or for one of them?
I think this is a safe fight for Money Garcia money.
Mm.
That's what I think. I think Ryan Garcia want money, and that's what he's getting. And Raleigh, I mean, I love Raleigh's personality. He is absolutely insane, crazy, but he can be like funny, like
He's
just
so funny.
funny, really. And when he tried to impersonate people, this stuff make me laugh. And so I think there's a lot of fans out there probably who feel the same. But as far as he boxing, I think Ryan will take it. And I don't understand, other than it's a golden boy situation, why is the main card? Because I feel like the fight that will be more of a fight actually will be the Devin Haney and Ramirez fight. I think that will
Yeah.
be more action packed, and I think
Yeah.
that one has a good chance of being an upset as opposed to Ryan and Raleigh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we have our guest here. He's well, I know him
Yeah.
as
Let's get him on
Abel,
and then we're
but
going to
I
come
was
back to
when I
this.
see Lover Boy here.
Oh,
That's
Lover Boy.
yeah,
Okay. We got
man.
Lover Boy in the house,
What's up, y'all?
aka Abel Mendoza. How are you, Abel?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you said you're Lover Boy, but I gave you the nickname Mr. Pull Up.
Oh, pull up.
And yeah, because you pulled up a couple of times on some fights that happened and that are going to happen. What happened? But I want you to tell everybody who doesn't know who you are, what your record is, and all that good stuff.
So my name is Abel Mendoza. I'm from Texas, and I'm 42-0 as a professional.
All right.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's 8 wins away from tying
yeah,
Mr. Money Mayweather.
yeah. With Floyd, yeah.
Is that your goal right now, or is you?
Honestly, that's never been my goal. It's never really been a goal. I'm really chasing um, titles. I'm chasing belts, not Floyd's record.
Okay.
So
You,
that's
you,
my next goal is trying to become a world champion.
you know the reason why I called you a Mr. Pull Up is because Shakur Stevenson, his last fight, he needed a replacement.
Yeah.
And you were like blasting him, like, you know what, pick me, I'm here, Uncle Turk. That's what Crystal calls him, and we all like adopted that. I'm here, like, I'm at weight, I'm ready to go. And then you went to the Tank and the Roach fight, and you're like, you know what, just in case, if y'all need a replacement, I'm here. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, you always got to stay ready because you never know. If there's an issue with the medicals out there, or somebody didn't make weight. They I'm there. I'm on weight. I was um, and just always got to stay ready because you just never know. Um,
Abel,
That's
and
absolutely true.
that's
That's
what,
true.
and somebody like me, like I guess that's what I'm gonna have to get an opportunity like that is when I'm not ready because I've been waiting and still nothing. But
42 fights and not a world title shot. How did this
yeah,
happen?
I don't know. You know what the crazy thing is? One time I was ranked number 10, and then they moved me to number 11, and then they put somebody else at number 10, and then he got a world title shot.
Wow.
And
I
like,
know how
oh
that happens, but
You
yeah.
know that boxing is a dirty game. I'm sorry, it really is,
yeah,
man. That's crazy.
Abel,
Because
Yeah,
I
that
was
how?
saying
was
like 42 fights, you should have had at least a world title shot
Yeah.
already.
yeah, yeah, something. Like
Come,
I thought
yeah.
I was gonna get a good fight when I was 20. I was for sure gonna get a good fight when I was 30. And now when I got to 40, I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to comment on. So I'm thinking, like, it's a business. Boxing is a business.
Yeah.
I can tell you why you were here and now you're here. It's all political, unfortunately. But talk to me about your manager, or are you signed with a promotional company as well as having a manager? Like, what's going on with that?
So yeah, actually, I just started working with Anthony McDonald and Luis de Cuas. So,
Okay.
now that I'm starting to work with them, I think that things are going to change, and I think that I'm going to move forward with my career.
Yeah.
Base, whenever you hear stuff like this, what are you thinking? Like, when you're in terms of boxing, like, oh my God, like, how does this guy at 42-0 with 31 KOs and he hasn't gotten a shot? Like, what goes through your mind?
Usually one of two things: either you haven't got very good representation, or you are literally fighting nobodies. It's one, or it has to be one or the other for you to not have an opportunity at this point. So I mean, ultimately, what do you think it is? Like, where do you think the issue is has been lying with this? Do you feel it's a issue of you haven't been given the necessary ranking fight, so you're not with the right governing bodies? Like, what do you think?
I think that I fought guys with good records. I fought. I've been going to. Well, I went to Mexico a lot, and like people don't know this, but like some of those guys on their records, like some of the guys that I fought aren't really who I fought. So like I remember I fought a guy that was like 12-2, and after I beat him, and I was losing on the scorecards. Luckily, I knocked him out, and when I beat him, they ended up putting somebody else there that was 0-2, and I'm thinking, what, how are you guys gonna do this to me? Like, and it
You mean
wasn't until a
showed up?
month later, because it's weird in Mexico. Sometimes they put it on box strike like a month later, so a month later had passed, and by the time everything happened, it was just too late for me to do anything.
Is that the Pedro Garcia Rodriguez fight?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's
So
crazy. Wow.
It is.
yeah, and then it just some of those fights, like I said, and I was down on the scorecards, but if I wouldn't have knocked them out, I would have lost. And a lot of people go to Mexico and they lose. Um, I
Yeah, they
saw a lot
do.
of guys that were undefeated, and a lot of them lost.
So do you say that were most of your fights in Mexico?
I would say about half of them. But I like my last fight. The guy was 23, and I think he was 23-3. I fought like a 18-3, 20-5, 11-1. Um,
But
so
these are resumes that you want at a pro-am show. If you want to make yourself big, like you
yeah,
say now, you think you have the right connections, you have to be fighting opponents who are upper end the ranks, right? Like the
right,
top
yeah.
25.
That's
And
what
in
I'm.
order to get them, what do it
At
take?
least somebody else in the top 10. I agree. Yeah,
It takes
that's
some monies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which goes back to the management, the promotional company. Like, a lot of people don't really realize, like, that's what it's all about. You can be the best boxer, you can like fight whoever's the best that's not signed or whatever and do amazing, but if you don't have money behind you, unfortunately, it doesn't go your way. And it's sad, but it's true. um Sports Nista, so say Abel was your guy, what advice would you give him?
Yeah, well, the first thing is like sounds like he is doing the right thing by staying in the gym and staying ready. Um, but boxing is a business, and so I would think you got to get a little bit more involved in your business side and helping to promote yourself. You see a lot of these guys, like Rolly, for example, like his shot. Rolly is not someone you would consider to be next in line, right, for a title, but he brings money, right, because of his
Yes.
presence, because he's authentically himself. He's not just some dude trying to play clown. He ain't slapped nobody at the press conference. That ain't what he do. Um, but so I would just say, just to be really clear, is just to think about how you're positioning yourself on the side. But you just said you just started working with Decubits, right?
Yeah. We just recently started working together, so I think good things are gonna happen.
Great. No, I want to see it for you. And I mean, just to piggyback off of what Sports Needs is saying, it's like, look at like Ray Jackson, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
He is like a legend because
I was
he
gonna say that he's
look at
a
Base. I'm gonna get to you, Base. But he is promoting yourself. Like that is where we're living right now. This is the world that we're living in. Like
yeah.
promoters are not necessarily promoting their fighters anymore. It's more like, oh, here's a poster. This is what it is. But it is up to the athletes to promote themselves. Base,
I
you
can see
went
that he's
like,
been doing a better job because I just recently like noticed you because I feel like you probably I don't know if you just started being active on Twitter, but not I noticed you when you did the interview on Brunch Boxing. So like,
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing his part, like putting himself more out there, and he's on here.
Yeah, I've actually started getting to get involved on Twitter,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
like it. I love Twitter actually. Like I never.
that's
It's
what
like
you
a
need to
new
be.
world that I uncovered.
Yeah.
Because I mostly got on Instagram and Facebook, a little bit on TikTok, but yeah, Twitter is like a new world. I mean, just a
Be
world we
careful out
talk
there.
about
To
boxing.
be made on Twitter. I
Hey,
don't know how
I-
where this is at right now, but I do remember Carmel Moten. He like kind of like got wind of you, and you were like, he's saying that, oh, he's if you fight him, you're not gonna make it to the 50-0,
Yeah.
because Mayweather's his guy. So
Ah.
I think that
Yeah,
all
I
came
felt
from
like a
Twitter.
lot of Mayweather's, a lot of Mayweather's guys, not just Carmel, but a few guys that work out there, kind of like, oh, we're
Calling
gonna
you.
stop you, this and this,
Okay, okay.
because I guess they're offended, from
This is
me trying to catch Floyd's
right.
record.
Yeah. So they all coming at you.
So they're all
Oh,
coming
but you're
at
So
not
me.
trying to. That's not what your intent is, right?
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
not
not.
my intentions. No, it's not my intentions. Not at all. I'm just trying to. I love to fight. Like I really love to fight. Um, so
we have a question. Are you ranked in any sanctioning bodies right now?
yeah, the WBA. Um,
Okay.
I'm not sure if I am anymore, but that's who I'm working with. The WBA.
Okay. Okay.
So, Abel, why did you start boxing, and like, what you ultimately want to get from it?
What? Why did I what?
Why'd you start boxing?
My dad put me in it. He put my
Oh,
older brother in it, so I kind of just grew up watching my older brother do it, and my dad wanted to become a professional boxer, so he put me and my brothers, and I kind of just I loved it. My brothers were a little bit forced into it, but I've always loved it, and um, yeah, just something I've always wanted to do.
What part of the Texas are y'all from?
I'm from Odessa. Odessa.
Odessa. Yeah. Okay.
But
A
I
little
got a
bit of a
question for you.
dust bowl.
I got a question for him. What did you think about the Shakur fight? Did you think that you could have put a better performance as an
Oh
opponent?
yeah, I thought I could have put a better performance. I think that
Yeah.
guy. I think that guy was good. Um, I don't know if Shakur might have even given him, like, maybe he was taking it a little bit easy, or maybe he was hurt. But I know for sure I would have given him a better fight because I was more in shape. I've been sparring 12 rounds before that, so that guy was just he was working. They caught him on the
On his
job,
own.
and
Yeah. You had to put a
so
PTO day in, yeah.
We had another question. Have you fought any winning records or undefeated fighters?
I fought like guys with winning records. Yeah, 23-3. 11-1. Um, Earlier in my career, I think it was like 2-0, but 20-5. The guy that I fought that was 20-5, he fought Leo Santa Cruz for the world title.
Okay.
So I think he fought
So
somebody else for the world title too. Um, but
so we got a ding 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 ding. It's a question for Ava. Jan's boxing chat, thank you very much. He says, anyone in mind as an opponent, Abel?
uh,
You
I'm hoping.
I feel like you're
I'm,
ready for any sport. You don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at this point I'm ready, but I'm hoping to get the Pitbull fight.
Pitbull. Okay.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you have, I mean, you have the opportunity right now to like call him out, say what you want to say. So please do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping Pitbull. Um, I think me
I
and him
mean,
would
you
be a
gotta
good fight.
like, dig deep, like let him know,
Hey,
Babe,
like,
Pitbull.
I'm gonna make you look like a chihuahua or something.
Hey, Pitbull, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna
okay,
get you.
okay. We might need to talk later. You might need a PR person,
Yeah,
but
I think you
we
might
will
need a
help
little
you
bit
out.
of shit talking.
Right?
Like,
I'm a lover boy.
yeah,
That's
he
why.
is a lover boy. He
Oh.
is a lover boy.
Now you gotta come with it. Like, I am able to get with you with these hands. You Pitbull
Oh, I like that one. I like that one.
going in.
I like it.
I'm able to get with you with these hands. I like that one. uh, so
So we have another question too. What is your day job, or is boxing your only job?
Yeah, boxing's my only job. That's all I do, 24/7.
well, see,
Okay.
then now I see why you got 42 fights.
Yeah, I mean, I really love. I love to fight. Love to fight. Like,
That's
I wish I
great.
could compete every day.
I got a question. So, what weight are you settled at? Because obviously, I know that you've done 140. Look like you've done 130 before that. Where are you actually campaigning with the governing bodies?
Actually, I was at 130 when I was ranked, but I went up so that they're seeing where they're gonna put me. Because
Okay.
I go back and forth from 135 to 140 lately, but when I was ranked, I was at 130.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So 140. Okay. Well, before we let you go, and thank you so much for your time, because you know what? Anybody that's ready to get in there with the big dogs and is putting in the work, we are like pushing forward. So, any last words, or if anybody has any last questions,
and give
let's
your
hear it.
social media handles because that's where you gotta shit talk and
Everything,
brew up your
everything.
fights. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys can follow me. I am King Abel on Instagram or Twitter, Abel_1 Mendoza. I think on TikTok, Abel Made You Look.
Ah, I
I
like
like that.
that. I like that.
It says, would you fuck with Richardson Hitchens down the
Oh,
line?
that's a good question right
Oh yeah,
there.
for sure. He's a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody with any belts,
Yeah.
A lot of
Okay.
people don't want to fight him, but I mean, at this point, I'll get in there with anybody. I think I was even trying to get the William Cepeda fight. Actually, I was trying to get Oscar Duarte when he needed his opponent fell through too. So I was, I was trying to reach out to Golden Boy and hey, I'm ready, but they ended up picking up somebody else.
So,
I can't believe Golden Boy don't pick you up yet. You sound just like one of Oscar's lovely little lads. He would love.
you know what? You read my mind, girl. You read my mind. You read
Yeah,
my
well, I
mind.
mean, everything happens. I'm gonna start working with Luis de Cubas, and so I think good things are gonna happen.
So Red is good said, do Loverboy go to camps to spar?
I've helped out a few guys. I helped out Oscar Valdez before for his camp.
For
I
which
think I
fight?
helped out Christopher Diaz a while back, a few years ago. But usually I just have my own camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the future, if you need to like shit talk and like you need some lines, Nika and Sportsnista, I believe would be the winner for you.
I retired on Twitter, but I can ghost tweet for you. I can definitely ghost tweet for you.
Yeah. Crystal and I are angels, but I think.
I don't know if I rubbed off on Christine, but do not know for you.
Yeah, you know what? Trill said, "Oh yeah, get him some work, Red." So if you need some work, you need some work. Red is good. B&B Boxing.
Gotcha.
Just saying, just saying. But thank you so much. Any last words? Any last words? You called somebody out, but is there anybody you want to thank? You know, do you have sponsors, your coaches, whatever? Any last words?
Yeah, just gotta thank Sunny and Anthony McDonald's, Luis de Cubas. I think I recently started working with them, so I think good things are
Okay.
gonna happen.
We wish you the best, and we'll definitely have to have you on again and
Yeah.
see where you're
No, I
at.
appreciate you guys, and you guys too. I want to thank you guys for having me on. Also,
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What
You
a
have a
little
great
boy.
night.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Have a
Bye.
good night. Thank you. He is a lover boy. He's so sweet. Yeah,
I mean, I
I
guess.
need to shit talk for him. I might have to come out of retirement to shit talk for him.
Yeah, I think he needs some
That's why I
help.
might start charging people to go tweet for them. Just like
I think you should. That's a good little side hustle.
Heck, yeah, that'd be a great side hustle, right?
yeah,
A
I got
great side
people to
hustle.
fight.
That you
I
got-
have half of Twitter wanting to fight me, even men. So
Yeah, I think let's go. So, we were talking about the press conference. So Devin was getting booed. They said even even the commentator was like, you know, shooting slugs, whatever. So for those that watch, I'll start with you, Crystal. You're right there. Like, did you get to see the press conference? Like, what was the treatment of Devin?
So I only see the highlights. I don't get to watch the entire press conference. And the highlights that I see are mostly on the Twitter and the Instagram. But some people are saying that Devin looked like he is ill, like he's sick. Is he still? Do you think he is weight drained still?
who?
Devin.
Devin.
He looks like closer to fight weight than he normally is around this time. So
HOD
maybe
said he's
somebody
doing
in the
Ramadan. He said he's doing Ramadan. Respect to
that's
him.
true.
So
Yeah.
that might be what it is.
Somebody in the chat earlier, I can't scroll all the way back up there, has said that they think maybe he's overtrained because he's so like close to fight weight already. But I don't know. That was just somebody in the chat said that, just repeating it.
Okay.
issue for him too right now.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I mean, I know that he and his dad have done some crazy stuff, but sometimes I really feel sorry for him. Like, he gets so much shit on social media. And I'm not saying that he should get passes, but sometimes I'm like, damn, like, roll it back. I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
He's a grown man. And
I
he's not
know.
innocent. He's not innocent. He be talking his shit too. So it's like, no, we're not gonna play that game. I don't feel bad. I don't. You know why I don't feel bad? Maybe it's not so much him. It's his fans. It be the fans. It's always
They're
the
the
fans.
worst.
It's always the fans. It's
They're the
always the
worst.
fans. But his dad is a big reason for that too. So you either gotta put your dad in check and tell him, hey, scale it back a little bit or this and that.
Yeah.
And because when your dad is wolfing like this, you're gonna get backlash. Like, that's just what it is. So
Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
That's true.
They fishing for it, and then you get what you're fishing for.
That's very true. Base, I want to ask you, I mean, Tio has said and done some things that are totally out of line, and we've got like two sides. It's like, okay, we're not going to support him because of the things that he's done. And then we have the other side that says, you know what, but he's really talented. He's one of the best at that weight class. So we're not going to let the stupidness interfere with what we think. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do we judge people on their personal opinions, or do we judge them on how they are in the ring?
Me personally, I'm very quick to compartmentalize differences. I can think you're a scumbag, outside the ring, but then say that you're the greatest boxer ever. On the Tio side, unfortunately, though, I actually think he's a scumbag outside the ring. I don't actually think he's that good inside the ring. His two biggest wins at this point in time still kind of have little asterisks next to them. And then at the biggest moment when you were supposed to be, quote unquote, the takeover, went and made some very bad business moves and ended up getting beat by George Kambosos. Good fighter, but no one was expecting you to lose that fight. That wasn't a fight that was geared up for you to go life and death with. You end up going life and death with Pedro Campo. You lost to Sandor Martin, and you went life and death with Steve Claggett. It's sandwiched in between that. Yes, you beat Lomachenko, who at the time soon after went and got shoulder surgery. Make of that what you will. Like a year out of the ring with Josh Taylor, who just came off of a fasciitis injury, and a year out of the ring, plus also unofficially lost to Jack Catterall the fight before. So yes, you've accomplished some very good things, no doubt. And maybe you're one of those people that gets up for the highest moments. But at this point in time, I just ain't seen enough of you consistently to be able to say, yeah, you are that guy in the ring. So all I can really judge you on is a bunch of lackluster performances and then a bunch of just goofy shit outside the ring. And so yeah, for me, the jury is still way out on Tio. The only benefit is that he's still relatively young. So this could be, if he can get past Barboza, which I've got serious doubts about, then okay, then maybe there is something there. And the hype that he gives himself, maybe it is genuine. Maybe he just needs the bigger fights to get up for.
Yeah, and we've seen that. Like, we've seen some champions where they rise to the occasion against better opposition rather than somebody who's not as good as they are. So I mean that could be what it is. Sportsnista, do you separate that when you're watching a fight, like the personal stupid like comments and then against the skill? Like, does it interfere at all? Does it cross over?
Very infrequently. There's probably 2 fighters that I just can't separate them from. But I think overall, being around the combat sports industry, you just realize there's people at the other end of that, and people are flawed. And so ever gonna, especially doing what they do as professionals, you have to be a very specific type of individual to want to do that. So yeah, I can absolutely compartmentalize it. But I feel like with Tio, a couple of things have happened within his career. He's had some sensational moments, and then when you're looking at it from a promoter, you want to capitalize on that quick, fast, and in a hurry. And he was not developed. He was just gun to blazing. Let's keep this kid. Let's ride this out until the wheels fall off. And the wheels are falling off. And he had some serious medical conditions that he had to contend with along the way. But also there's the training and stylistic aspect of it. And I think he long outgrew his father. And that relationship was a hot mess, not just from in the ring, but on a business and personal perspective. And he had all of this. It was like a perfect storm of mess to really derail what this kid could have been. He's still young enough to get it back together, but if he does not right the ship on some of those distractions, we're going to be talking about him as a boxer that could have been so much greater than he actually was.
Yeah, I agree with that. Nika, does Barboza beat Tio's ass or vice versa?
I want him to. I want him to beat the shit out. I don't want him to just win. I want him to knock him out. I want this to be a nasty beat down. And you know what? I'm emotional, so sometimes I can't separate the two. If I think you're an asshole outside the ring, I want you to get your ass beat. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around it. If I don't like you, I want you to get your ass beat. But that doesn't take away that you might be a good fighter, but I still want you to get your ass beat and lose. Yeah. That's just me being real. Like, I don't care. I don't care. You could be a good boxer all you want, but if I don't like you, I kind of want you to get humbled a little bit and get your ass beat. That's just what it is. So and
sometimes we need to eat that humble pie. I'm not saying who, what, when, how, but sometimes yes.
Eat that.
I see your eyes dropping, base. We're gonna let you go in a minute. I saw you like.
No. I'm good. I'm actually just checking some notifications.
Okay, good. Crystal, can you separate the comments and who's winning?
Ah, so I have a hard time separating it to an extent, because if I know a boxer is so kind outside the ladder, I never want them to get hurt in the ring, right?
Yeah.
But when I know they're a little bit of one asshole, I don't mind that humble, humble down, if you will. But
Yeah.
to be fair, I don't want anyone to be hurt in the ring. That's just
Sure.
not
Yeah.
me. I love to see the skills, and sometimes the biggest assholes have the best skill set in the history. If we look back, it happens. That's true. We can't deny it. But their confidence carries them through, and so do their skills. I don't mean I want to sit down and break bread with the lads, right? But I have to respect their skills. So
I will respect your skill, but I want I want you to get your ass. I don't like you.
He said Barbarossa is so slow he got smacked twice.
Yes, he look. He this guy right here is a big Teofimo fan, so of course he's gonna put stank on it. But and Teofimo he's really trying to play a character. He's really playing a character. He had on mascara, he had on makeup, he was doing the whole shebang. I feel like he's trying to find his way. Like he's trying everything, and for me, it's not working. I still want you to get your ass beat. You can try everything you want. I still want you to get your ass beat. That's just what it is.
That's the problem with Tio, and also I think with Devin, why Devin gets so much shit. You have to be real. When people feel like you're playing a character and it's not WWE, like you can't get down with that, because one day you this dude, the next day you this gal or whatever. And if you're gonna be an asshole, double down, be the best asshole in America, But like you can't play like I'm Mr. Jesus and like I'm
right.
And
he's trying too hard, like Felix said.
Right. Just be who you are, and people will gravitate towards that authenticity. Your people.
But I think he showed who he is.
But he's like, in same thing with Devin. I think Devin, well, first of all, Devin was so young, when he turned pro. He don't know nothing, like still smiling like Similac and trying to get his life together, but he was so polished and so trying to say the right thing and like be Mr. Professional Boxer. And it's like, you beat people's ass for a living. Like we not like, what are we doing here? Be whoever you are, because I don't think anybody knows who Devin Haney really is.
Yeah. I was gonna say, when it comes down to Devin and Ramirez, what's going on there? Is he going to have the mental capacity to beat Ramirez? Ramirez is a dog. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. Crystal, we're going to start with you.
You nail it right there. I just said this to someone yesterday, as a matter of fact. This Ramirez have the dog in him, right? That's what they call it, the dog. It's the inner has come out, right? So he is a forward fighter. He have a lot of shots that he take, and I don't know that Devin can handle that pressure. And if he get clipped by one, we know that the power is the last to go. Ramirez not known 100% for his knockout power, but if the power is the last to go, and he is here to make a statement to say, I'm still healthy, given my age or whatever he wanted to be, because they counting Ramirez out because Devin is young. And I think Devin he hands full with this one. I truly, even more so than Ryan and Raleigh, 100%. I think that Ramirez can pull off an upset here. I truly do.
Yeah. Nika, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
I don't think this is a cemented win for Devin Haney, if I'm being honest. So I wouldn't like. Somebody said to me, Ramirez and Haney is 50-50, and right now, I feel like I have to see how Devin looks in this fight, because mentally, I feel like he had to get over a lot to even get to this fight. Like his ego has to be so bruised. he went through a lot. So mentally, I don't, that could play a part. So it's 50-50 for me. 50-50.
Okay.
Keep it a buck. Like, I don't think it's going to be close. I think Devin outboxes Jose Ramirez, and I love Jose Ramirez as a person. Some of the things that he has done in his community to make sure that people have access to a living, it's very admirable. And he didn't have to do it. Like, he has been that guy, that dude from the beginning. But the last two fights I've seen from him, he looks like he is very, very slow.
I
And
like this.
a
Sorry.
dude like Devin, who is methodical and technical, he can outbox him for 12 rounds. But here is the other guy in the ring, is the boogeyman. Can Devin Haney get past that? He didn't just lose a fight. He got beat down. His jaw was reconfigured. Whereas been through those wars. He had that whole like war with Josh, and like I think he won that fight, as a matter of fact. But that's a whole different story. But I think Jose has been through those wars where like mindset, he's level set there. This is Devin's first time out the gate. And like, can he fight those demons and the dude that's gonna be in front of him?
Absolutely. Base, what say you?
Oh wait, before you go, I wanted to highlight this comment from HLD, because I think this is like well said. Whoever shows up the best version between Haney and Ramirez wins. Way too many unanswered questions, and I agree. So
No, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
not
No, I think that it's definitely a banana skin fight if we're looking at it in terms of, look, the A sides, have to win to obviously fight each other. This one, in terms of the main event, is probably, yes, more of a risk than the Ryan fight, which is actually, if you think about it, even though not all of the A sides are golden boy, but it's pretty much a golden boy card. Hence why they put even some of the B sides ended up being on the the right side of the table, or the left side
Yes.
of us, just because
Yes.
there's, so it makes sense that Ryan would be in the easiest quote unquote contest out of the three. You know how Oscar does his matchmaking. He doesn't
Yes.
hide it. But in terms of, look, Devin and Ramirez, like, the one thing about Jose, I think now, even though Devin's been inactive the last year, Jose's been quite inactive over the last few years himself. And in the fight against Arnold Barboza, he looks slow. Like, he looked really slow. He looked a lot slower than he has been. So how is he gonna adjust now to the extra 7 pounds now that it's at 147 instead of 140? That might give him more energy. Maybe he was at 140 for way too long. But I don't know if he's really got the interest in boxing like that right now. And while he, will be difficult in terms of relentless pressure, if he actually uses that, that's cool. But if you're going to compare Devin to anyone, he would actually, on this whole card, he would be the closest comparison to an Arnold Barboza. And Barboza, for the most part, I mean, I know that the scorecards were close over in Saudi, but I don't really know what they was watching, because I scored it very wide to Barboza, and I don't even think he's that good of a boxer. So Devin could play behind that jab, and I think that at 147, he probably has got a bit more authority on that jab, much quicker movement, quicker footwork, can get out of the way. And as much as people have tried to say otherwise, even Todd Grisham, hence why Bill went into that big rant on him, like, yeah, Devin, he might, he got knocked down a couple of times, but his chin held up. He got up. He finished the fight on on his feet. To some people, including myself, I actually gave him the fight. I had him winning 8 rounds to 4 the entire fight. So he's able to grit it out when need be, and as long as he doesn't, do anything outlandish, I think this should be a fairly routine victory, in my opinion.
Christine, what do you do with a fighter who comes off of like a devastating loss like that? Does he need to start fast to kind of like clear up those cobwebs and get that fog of war, or do you keep him like the type of methodical fighter who downloads information in the first couple of rounds?
So
Before you answer, Christine, we have a ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
All right, thanks, D-Style. D-Style says Ryan is a Lamborghini in speed. Ramirez is a Chevy Cruze. It's gonna be one-sided Haney fight.
So the answer that I'm going to give to D Style and Sportsnista, it's all about mentality. The thing is that after coming off a loss, I don't think you should just go in there balls to the wall. I think you have to really like feel your opponent out, see what they're doing, listen to your corner, trust your corner, and you can't let anything that's happened before the fight interfere with what you're doing in the ring. You know, that's why I worry about Haney, because he's getting so much shit from everywhere. Is he going to have the mental fortitude to be able to actually win against Ramirez? He might be better. He might be stronger. He might have more tools in the tool chest. But if this is weak, there's no way. There's no way.
See,
So
somebody gave a good like it was about Burchell. Hold on, let me try to find it.
Yeah, he
yeah,
said
Bertelt.
Yeah.
Valdez.
Where is it?
That
I
was
don't have my
Aldo
glasses
Powell.
on, y'all. Oh my god. Let's see.
That was Aldo Powell. He said that.
Aldo Powell. Yeah, Aldo Powell. Let's see. Aldo
And
Powell.
that, so, you know, while you're looking for the,
Okay, yeah, see. Devin might no.
that's,
Devin might fight like Miguel Burchell after knockout from Oscar Valdez. He got knocked out again. Yeah, and then it was something different. It was like
that he felt.
yeah, he got after he fought Oscar Valdez, he started fighting different and he lost again. So, you know, I just gotta see. I can't really make an assessment until I see him fight.
First,
I don't know
someone
where his head is at.
says after that Scott Quigg debacle, which he never should have like finished, and they should never like get in there. He was never the same. But that Oscar fought the same way after that. That he, and in some ways, it was probably a mistake. Like that they tried to make some adjustments with Reynosa, but like Oscar Valdez is who he is. You know, don't fight that way no matter what. But he didn't make adjustments, whereas Burchell did. He fought a little more timid.
Yeah, I mean, mentality is a big thing. It is. I mean, like I said, you can be the best, you can hit the hardest, but if you got all this stuff going on and you can't focus on what's going on, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I don't know. I mean, we saw what happened, in my opinion, and I made like a little video about, you know, Tank and Roach. You know, is Tank going to be able to mentally beat Roach? I mean, does he have the skill? Yes. Does he have the power? Yeah, he does. But mentally, is he going to be there? So that is like 80 to 90% of what a boxer needs. They don't just need the physical. They don't just need the right coaches, but they need the mentality. So
I don't
know.
I don't feel
That's why I
like
said it's 50-50
Roach.
for me because I don't know where his head is.
I don't feel like Roach takes pride. I feel like Ryan take Devin pride out his soul that night.
Absolutely, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Because he had a broken jaw, right? His jaw was broken. Yeah, he went through a lot with that fight.
A lot, yeah.
But he even said, he's like, I'm a special fighter. So for somebody to come out and do something like that, there has to be something wrong. So that's, you listen to like the mentality and how he's replaying that to himself. Like it wasn't a flaw in my, like I didn't fuck up. Like this dude had extra special like going on. So, you know, we're going to find out, did he come to terms with all that? Did he see what we seen? Because even if, you know, somebody was juiced up,
yeah,
did not go right.
Exactly.
But 86 Boxing says Devin wasn't knocked out cold and Burchell was. But see, I feel like with like another fighter, Adrian Broner, when he fought Maidana, like after that fight, he didn't fight the same. So he got gun shy.
Yeah,
like,
something's
these
going
fights,
on.
They change these fighters mentally, like, you know. So you don't have to be knocked out cold to still have like some kind of PTSD of like
no,
what happened
absolutely
in
not.
another fight that you got knocked down in, you know.
That's absolutely, that's true.
Just to let you know, his jaw wasn't broken; it was just heavily bruised.
Oh, okay, it wasn't broken.
Okay.
It
I
was
think there
broken.
was
So
speculation in the beginning. Perhaps it was broken, and then we find out it truly wasn't. I think if that's
Oh, okay. So
and you know what? A
my
lot of
bad. It wasn't
times,
broken. It was
a
bruised.
lot of times things happen. It's not going to come out in the public. It is what it is. I mean, you know, so we don't know. A lot of times it doesn't come out. But
so here's my question: if both Haney and Garcia get past this weekend with flying colors, what happened in the rematch? What do you think?
After what we saw in
I think Devin wins it.
fighters,
do you really, Base? You really do? I mean, you got to think. Ryan came to Jesus. He's not drinking anymore. He's
Yeah,
like
I
in the
think it will be.
gym doing his
You have
thing.
the power of Jesus in your hand. Oh no.
He's hold on a sec. My connection's moving a bit mad. So no, I think that it's gonna be about who can make the adjustments, right? Ryan doesn't. He seems to kind of be very sort of one track. He does very similar things, right? And if we're all gonna look at it, if the last fight, let's be real, Devin and his dad and all of that, they just looked at it as a payday. I heard there was a lot of things that they were cutting corners in training. I'm not making excuses. That's just what I heard. I think if they get through this one and everything's fine, I reckon number one, they'll lock in properly. And number two, they'll be able to make adjustments that I don't think Ryan will. And Ryan won't have that element of surprise on his side this time. Because they all thought he was crazy. Oh, is he even going to turn up, all of that stuff? And he played them. So he won't have that to do this time. And I just feel Devin's team will be able to make more adjustments, keep it a very boring fight, and just win it once, in one of those, not one-sided, but just in one of those, ho-hum decision victories that he can tend to have at times. He won't engage. He won't try and trade like he did last time.
Okay, what do y'all think? Ladies, Sportsnista, what do you think?
I think that, I agree in that Ryan is not the type of fighter who would be interested in making adjustments. And why should he? Like it was a beatdown. He beat this dude from the opening bell to the very end of it. So what adjustments would he need to make other than anticipation? Anticipate that Devin has watched the tape or someone from his team and they're trying to get him ready. I don't anticipate a change in the result. I just don't. From what we saw, because you see someone like Ryan who's willing to take all of those risks. Now, with that risk, could be more susceptible to getting caught because anything can happen in a round. But like they say, stop, make fight. This dude is just wild. He is wild. He's not afraid to throw. And so if he sticks with that, I don't feel like Devin can make that much in this period of time to match up. Ryan Garcia is a talented fighter. He's just a weird dude.
And he's very strong. He really is very strong.
Fast. Like that speed ends up being some formidable power. So I think because Ryan is such an odd dude that like people don't give him the respect that he has earned as a fighter of his skill set. I mean, he dismantled Devin Haney. Like, what if
Absolutely.
we turn around like in a rematch where somebody was like dismantled like that and then turned it around,
Yeah, he really did. He did.
I think it's gonna be the same result. I'm just being
Me
honest,
too.
because the whole lead up to the fight, everybody was talking about the left hook. You knew that left hook was coming. So, like, I don't think anything's gonna change. I'm just
right.
Chris, so before I ask you about your opinion, I want to address Al the Pal. He said, did y'all talk about the pay-per-view sale of Tank and Roach? First of all, we don't care. You know why? We're not getting any of that money. So I honestly, I don't care. I do not care what the sales were, what it was, what it wasn't. I want to see good matchups, good fights. I don't care.
They saying it did less than 150, and then it's fake news.
That's not my problem. I didn't promote it, so I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying.
But you might want to though, just saying, because if they don't do good numbers, then the likelihood of trying to risk it against better opposition might be less if they don't think they'll make the profit out of it. If
No,
they got
no, you're right. You're right about that. And then we're gonna like after Crystal says her prediction, we're gonna touch on the new cowboy in town, and we're gonna talk about that. So, Crystal, what do you think about the rematch?
So I think first of all, Base is correct when he say that Ryan is not a changer. He don't make too many adjustments, but we do see, just like in the comments, that he do make adjustments to his team. We don't know which team he will bring, but
Right.
regardless of the adjustments that Ryan make, Devin, if that is the case, Devin shall have been watching tape before and know that these left hooks was coming. He cannot get away from the left hook. I don't care if there was Astarine or no Astarine. I don't think that he is still able to get away from the left hook. I don't know what the deal is with the left hook and why they're not prepared to get away from it the first time, because that would be the most obvious thing, even to a casual fan. Ryan have a killer left hook. Come on now.
Absolutely.
Why we don't see that and why we don't train for it properly? If you're getting in the ring, and the Haney's are very familiar with this business. They know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. So I don't believe that they not trained enough or whatever
They didn't cut no corners.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
But if Devin win at the rematch, I'm not disappointed. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, same. Sportsnista, I want to go to you because you're amazing. Like you've got your hand in more sports than just boxing. I couldn't handle it. Hats off to you, girl. Seriously. So we got an announcement, Uncle Turk, as Crystal would say, and we've all adopted it. And Dana White, partnering up. What is your take on that? Is this the right move? Does the UFC have the formula to save boxing?
Well, I think we want to first talk about Dana White. And Dana White actually entered combat sports through boxing. He was running some really successful gyms in Boston as a boxing trainer. He started Zuffa boxing because that was going to be his thing. And it turned out that he got into MMA, and that was much more lucrative. And boxing was a terrible pain in the ass to pursue. But I've been talking to Dana for a couple of years about his entry into boxing, and it just wasn't the right time, meaning there wasn't the right money in place to do it the way that he wanted to do it. So the first thing was dismantle all of these different sanctioning bodies governing who is champion. And I think that's the one thing all the fans want, is they don't want 6 or 7 different champions. Like there has to be one dude that you rally behind, and that's how most sports are. You don't have 3 different champions in the WNBA or the NBA or football. That is not how it goes. But the fact that he has the backing of Turkey al-Sheikh and the Saudi government, not just Turkey, it is the crown prince who is sanctioning the purse strings behind this. There is an unlimited amount of resources to do this the way that they want to do it. And you know what? Pay-per-view may not be what they're going to do. I truly believe, and like Dana dropped a little bit of hints about it being back on linear TV. Like we could see boxing on a Tuesday or Thursday night on or on Fox or NBC. And that's the real game changer, because now it's not casuals. It's people who are just like out and about or home, or they're at like a bar or whatever, and they're watching this. And then they start to hear about guys who aren't the top guys, but they're starting to hear about boxing and getting interested in the industry. That's the real game changer, is what they do as a promotion to market this sport. The money's there, so they ain't scared and running behind pay.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, Boxing Talk and more. He says, what y'all think about the ABC statement? I didn't get to read the whole thing, but I did see that they made a statement. So I don't know if did you get to read it, Chris? because Crystal's agreeing. Yes, so
Yeah,
I
Crystal.
didn't get to read.
I might be a major nerd about that business, but
Okay.
I do read through it once. Basically, I think what they are trying to do is some pushback, because the ABC will back up the belts that are in place, the sanctions that are in place thus far. I don't think ABC is a general statement, a big fan of what is happening for the TKO. I don't think they appreciated. And what I felt like is they don't appreciate the fact that Canelo cannot have all of his belts at that press conference. That's why I think that statement stemmed from. But I don't know
That
for
was a
sure.
So that I know Marcos and some other people jumped on that, but they asked him, can I bring these belts? And he was like, sure, no problem. Reynoso saw no, thinking like he said no. He said no problem. So he could have brought all those belts out. Canelo's a free agent, and he's made it clear.
Well, the video that I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, is Canelo looked at Uncle Turk and was like, "Can I?" And he's like, "No, no, 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 no."
No problem. Should no, like most people caught that no, but look at it again behind
Okay, I
problem.
will.
Well, the way I saw that one, I'll jump in really quick, and I've said this before, so hopefully other people have noticed it. I don't think because remember, Skull didn't have his IBF belt with him either. In the Ryan, the Garcia, and all that one, and Tiafimo, he didn't. He only had his ring belt with him, and I think it's because remember it's the ring in association with SNK Fatal Fury, right? So the only belts that they would have had is the ones that they're using to promote this venture between the game and and these events, which is the ring and then the Fatal Fury title. So that's why I don't think the other titles were in any shots anywhere on all three of those promotions, and I don't think anyone's really sort of clocked onto that. It's a cross promotion between those two, the sanctioning body belts, and that aren't necessary. Because if you remember, he still spoke to Canelo about, we want the last piece of silverware, don't we? We want the last piece of the puzzle for September. So he still acknowledged that those belts are there and that they are genuine and they exist. It's just that in those promotional pictures, it's about SNK, Fatal Fury, and it's about Ring Magazine and their collaboration.
Okay. So, question for you: is TKO boxing, this league, is it going to save boxing where we're at today?
No, nothing's gonna save boxing. Boxing is always gonna be as it is. It's just gonna be another thing in boxing. If we're gonna look at quote unquote saving boxing, all right. So the biggest stars in boxing right now, Canelo's one of them. I guess Crawford's one of them. Obviously heavyweights is heavyweights, but then a lot of the people who are the biggest stars are fighting in weight divisions that weren't one of the original 8. So you want to go back to that traditional 8? Well, hold on. The biggest fighters, the people with the most money behind them, the people with the most eyes on them, ain't fighting in those weight classes. So therefore, how is this going to be the takeover? Even if you're looking to build up your own sort of roster of people, that's going to take 4, 5, 6 years down the line. You can do your own little ranking system. You can have your little compartmentalization over there, but it's the same way how it hasn't fixed MMA. People associate UFC and they think MMA, but it's not. It's a promotional company. It's one company with a bunch of fighters, the same as Matchroom's a bunch of fighters, the same as Top Rank, etc. You have your your UFC belts, but you've also got your Bellator belts, you've got your PFC belts, you've got your Strikeforce belts, and all the other companies whose names I don't remember off the top of my head. So it's just going to be that. You're not gonna conglomerate and take everything in house, especially if you're gonna cut down all those weight classes as well. It's just gonna be its own little side hustle, but it might be there for the next generation coming up. That's the only thing I can. But I don't really know enough of it. But based on sort of what I've seen, it's just gonna be its own little entity within a pocket of the boxing sphere.
The only thing I would strongly disagree with is like it's not going to be no little nothing. It's not going to be no little side hustle. It's not going to be no little like also ran. If there is one promoter in this whole world that I get on or anything, it is Dana White. And it's not just because of boxing, and not to get too political with y'all. You gotta like understand like the players in this whole thing. You're talking about one of the richest group of individuals in the whole wide world. When you have unlimited resources, you have unlimited power and access. Who is his best friend? Y'all know? The one of
Donald Trump.
you have the president of the United States, and then you have Saudi money. This is not no little nothing, and it's not just about boxing. I think there's going to be some other things, and I'm gonna say it, y'all, because I'm gonna go on record right here. I do not expect Dana White to be president of UFC past late 2025, maybe early 2026. There's just too much going on. I talked with him one-on-one on Saturday, and this man is exasperated. He is exhausted. Today they sat down from soup to nuts, figuring out the business side of boxing and the people that they're going to be putting in place. And it would be like Roger Goodell running the NFL and the NBA. Like, how long can you do something like that? And that's why I think that this thing is going to be lightning in a bottle. They're going to be moving very fast and very far. So keep an eye on, especially those kind of linear TV situations, boxing happening during the weeknight, to change the perception of the sport. It's not just because they want to give away something free. It's like, where can we get the most eyeballs and change perception of the sport? So I don't think it's going to be a little anything. They're building ability right here in Las Vegas.
Well, when I say that, again, I'm talking about it's not going to be a be all and end all. It's going to be its own entity within boxing. Boxing is too big for it to take over. It's not going to mean anything to me over here, basically. So, and not for any time soon, anyway.
Yeah. So what you're saying is here it's huge, but over there it's gonna take a minute to like.
Thing is, I think it will be. Everyone is going to look at it and say, "Oh, like what's going on here? This is this is a new endeavor." But it won't be an all encompassing. That's my point. It will be its own.
It won't be
when I say its own little thing, I mean its own. Within the context of GLOAT, it will be its own little thing within its own pocket. Which obviously, yes, it will expand out. You may see a lot more. It may be something that sort of booms and sort of flourishes down the line, but for any time in the next 4 to 5 years, in my opinion, it will be its own entity within boxing. It won't be able to quote unquote fix boxing like it's saying. And if boxing is broken or whatever, I don't see it being that. That's my point.
And Dana said they're trying to build whatever they're doing there from the ground up. They're not taking pieces that they thought worked elsewhere. It's their own thing, and they're going to build that the way that they want to build it, and they're going to bulldoze their way through whatever is in the fucking way.
Yeah. It seems as though. Crystal, what are your thoughts on this?
I can't say I'm a big fan yet because I don't know too much. When I think of UFC, I think Dana White. I don't know 5 UFC fighters, right? So Dana White obviously have the money there, and I worry a little bit about the boxers. Will they be paying the boxers as well as they are today from Uncle Tech, or will we see a substantial drop off to the boxers? I don't know. And I think as far as fixing boxing, there's no fixing boxing. Boxing has always been, will always be. And I if this is true what the Sportanista say, which I will love, every day of the week I can watch the boxing and it's live. Like that's my cup of tea. Yeah. I have 12 days off in the April. I'll be looking forward to those 12 days to watching more boxing. So I'm good for that if that's what happens. I don't know. As far as fixing, I don't see anything broken. There will always be boxing. It's just a different format. But I will have to say, how much influence will the Saudi Arabia have, and will this affect the fact that we will not see female boxers? That is a little bit concerning for me. Maybe a lot concerning.
There is no plan to have a female division right now.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be a plan.
That is
They
not good.
don't. Not even in Riyadh season, there was only one
Right.
female boxer.
Yeah.
So yeah, they trying to get rid of women's boxing. So it's, in my opinion.
But you still have promoters like Eddie Hearn and Matchroom who have put women on their cards. I think they're the only ones right now, as a matter of fact.
Cap Michaela, right?
Top rank, yeah.
Only have
Right.
Lisa retired, so that's it.
Yeah.
So Michaela basically is a free agent because she's going to have to get fights elsewhere because that's just not, they're not bringing anybody in for her.
Yeah,
She's facing she's facing Sandy Ryan.
Yeah.
At the end of the month.
Yeah,
yes, she is.
Right, that had to happen. But like beyond Sandy, like her, and keep an eye on what's happening with Top Rank Business as well.
So before we depart, I want to. I mean, I think I know what you're gonna do, what you're gonna say, Base. But I want to go around. We'll do last words, but before we do last words, Michaela Mayer, Sandy Ryan, too. Who wins, Crystal? And then your last words. Okay, and last words. Anything you want us to know?
Oh no! Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone here. It's always a pleasure to be with everybody. So thank you.
Thank you, Nika. Who wins?
I got Michaela again, and my final words. Everybody, just drink your water, mind your business. I have been off of Twitter like that, so y'all cannot disturb my peace. Been very peaceful. Thanks to everybody in the chat with the great questions and great comments. And thanks to Sportsnista and Basic Kid for being on tonight, and the lover boy Abel.
Yeah. I'm gonna call him Mr. Pull Up. I ain't calling him
lover boy.
I'm just saying. Okay, Sportsnista, who wins?
Michaela wins, and it's crazy to me that at this point in her career, people still underestimate her skills. Like, Michaela is a dog, and now that she's fighting in the heavier weight class, I always thought she was naturally a big girl anyway, and for her to like start being like working in the class more natural to her, and she doesn't have to drain herself. Like, I'm a big Michaela fan, but I also think in this particular fight that she is more skilled. And, I love Coach Al and what they've been able to do for her throughout her career. So I definitely got her. And for final words, thank you all for having me. It's always a pleasure to be down with you ladies. I have, my son's a national ranked marksman, and we're like always in between training. He's beefing at me now because he want to come down here and make noise and kick the bag. So,
tell him to come down.
But we're gonna be in Fort Worth, April. I was like, hey, we need to pull up.
Call me. Go
through and say hello. But like, for parting words from me, take care of y'all mentals. This world is crazy. Like, stay close to the people that got you, and the people who don't got you, you don't have to beef with on Twitter.
Absolutely. Base, who wins the rematch?
I've been working on that.
Yeah, we'll find out when Base's picks comes out. The video, they'll see a couple of days before the fight.
Okay.
Base Kid, the hardcore casual. You guys know that's
Fair
where you
enough.
find all my predictions. But no, look, thank you. Again, apologies for last week. I did actually want to talk about a lot of that stuff. So it's a shame I did miss it live, but I watched it back. Very good content between you and Nika. And just thanks for having me. When you need me again, you know how to get in contact. And have a good night.
Thank you. Love you all.
But wait, let me give a shout out to Felix Gracia Jr. It says, ladies and everybody in the chat, 15% off for you and your fans tonight on the ITR boxing store with code WC Wednesday.
Oh my gosh.
Officially licensed merch from fighters. No bootleg stuff. Okay, you heard that? No bootleg stuff.
I love it. Oh my gosh. We are going to blast it,
Officially
blast
licensed,
it.
not the bootleg stuff. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody have a good night. Love you all. My ladies, let's keep it going. Bass, let's keep it going. Y'all are amazing. We love to love you.
Bye.
Have a good night.